You smell that? It's the smell of that sweet, sweet college football in the air. And if you're anything like me, you got to scratch that itch for college football. Well, join me today for some fall camp news, reports, and rumors. All right, before we get into the fall camp in preview and kind of review the things that happened there, let's jump into some fun things and interesting facts that I would like to give you just to kind of give you an intro. So here's the first video that I wanted to give you. This is called God's Creation in College Station. All
right. Driving down to God's Creation, deep Texas, College Station, getting me a little taste of home.
If that doesn't get you hyped and ready to go, you can feel the vibes in the air. Aggie football is almost here. All right, so there's also this other video I thought it was pretty funny that the Texas A&M football team put out on their official account, and I'm going to kind of react to it. And it's about college towns, Texas towns. Sorry, excuse me. It's about Texas towns, and so let's watch it and let's see what you think. It's pretty humorous.
Real Texas boys. Come on, here we go. Let's get it.
Gurney. Grooney?
You just say you knew this.
I don't know that one.
Gurney.
That's Gurney.
Growing. No G. Growing.
I mean.
Green.
It can't be that hard. Come on.
Next, I don't know what that is.
This one was easy for me.
Mexia.
Especially when you look close by.
Mexico.
Mahia. Mexia. Mahia, tomato, same thing.
Come on.
Mahia.
Refuego.
Now, this one was a little bit harder. I didn't know this one.
Refugio.
There we go.
That's Refugio.
Where's the R?
Refugio.
Got it.
Come on. Yeah.
I enjoyed that. I hope you enjoyed that too. I mean, it's getting that feeling in the air. You know, college football's here. All right, let's drop it. Let's quickly talk about ticket pool. It's something that if you're an Aggie, and it's one of those traditions that's kind of changed this time around. Ticket pool is no longer in person. It's a virtual online thing, and it started and opened. The system launched yesterday, and so that was when the seniors and grad students could pool. Today is when the juniors can pool, and tomorrow will be when the sophomores can pool, and Thursday will be freshmen, and Friday is when, if you have a sports pass and you haven't gone and pulled it yet, or if you're a student and you weren't able to get that sports pass, this is your chance to go grab a ticket and go to those games. And that's exactly what I would be doing. If I wasn't able to get a hold of one of those student passes or sports passes and I enrolled late or something like that, go on Friday to the ticket office and see if you can pull. Or not to the ticket office, go. You'll have to figure out if it's online or whatever. But yeah, look for Friday. That's your chance to get a ticket. All right, so let's hop into fall camp updates. Let's see what these rumors and how, or what actually is coming out, and I'm going to kind of walk through it and talk through the players and see. We can get some information and help scratch that itch that you're trying to please while waiting for college football. This is the week before game week. So we're in the last week of actual fall camp. So it'll be wrapping up here at the end of this week, and we'll be starting prep for UTSA starting probably Monday or this weekend or something like that. And so let's go through fall camp. Let's talk about how it was. Let's go by players and position rooms and kind of talk through it. And so, to kind of lead this off, let's listen to Klein as he talks about his offense and what he's feeling about it.
Can you talk a little bit about Terry Bussey's growth this camp as opposed to where he was a year ago when he was thrust into the wide receiver spot?
Terry's done a really nice job. I think you look at, he's always had great twitch. He's always had really, really good top end speed. I think the strides he's really made is the definition of routes in and out of cuts and breaks. His football IQ is off the chart. I mean, he's able to process a lot of what's going on around him, but I think all that has even slowed down and even gotten better. And really, I've been really impressed. First part of camp here, he's made some really good contested catches, and tight coverage, good defense, good ball, and he's big, strong, and goes up and attacks the football. So I think from a wide receiver skill set has really made good strides. Good experience there. I thought our guys competed and played really hard, and we're really, I think we had more explosive plays in that scrimmage than we've had since we've been here. And I think they were getting excited with each other, watching each other make big explosive plays, and I think that was really, really cool to see.
We've heard before you got confident for that.
Oh, I just think it's two things. Number one is physical speed, their ability to truly run and stretch the defense and make man coverage strain. That's a big deal. But then I think on the other side too is more familiar with the offense. Coach Wiggins is as good as anybody of truly developing those guys into all-around players to where they're playing the game mentally faster, which also helps their play speed as well. So I think those two things are going to really show up.
All right. If talking about the explosive plays and whatnot doesn't get you excited, I don't know what I can do for you. But because this is where the explosion, I believe, is going to come from, let's start with the wide receiver room. We know we got Mario Craver here, and he's one of those guys that's quick. He has great route running. He's going to be able to break the top off the defense and get wide open. We know about Casey Concepcion. He's just come in and done exactly what we expected of him. He's just looked like that star, all SEC caliber wide receiver. Where I think we're really going to set ourselves apart is these next two guys. And ABR, Ashton Bethel-Roman. He's a sophomore. He was last year he came in as a freshman, didn't really do much, but this year he's just really come onto the scene. He's come onto the scene and he's really looked good as a wide receiver. And so get used to hearing his name. He's one of those really good players that we're going to be looking forward to. He's quick. He's going to take the top off the defense. And then as Colin Klein was talking about Terry Bussey, this is one of my most important, impactful players to watch this season. If Terry Bussey had a good season, if he can get like 6 touchdowns, 500, 600, 700 yards, if he can do that, we know all these other players are making an impact. Mario, KC, Ashton Bethel-Roman, and then if Terry Bussey is getting into action because he's kind of a triple threat and he's getting out there, we know that this offense is just lighting it up. They're making those big plays that we need this fall. And so let's hear it directly from Ashton Bethel-Roman.
What do you think has been the biggest difference from last year you to this year you, and what have you feel like you've improved on?
I feel like I improved like every part of my game when it comes to like who I was. Last year was just straight downfield speed. I focused on that, but like it's everywhere in my game now. I can stop on a dime, I attack the ball more now. So it all really helped. That offseason really helped, and the guys before me there, they really helped just get my game together.
I know Coach Klein, when we talked to him last week, talked about how explosive the things were in the scrimmage. Did you feel that way, and how much were you feel like you were a part of that?
a pretty good part of it. I mean, we all a part of it though. The whole offense is overly explosive. I'm not gonna lie. Like from the running, we already know about the running backs. We got a 3-headed, 4-headed snake just ready to eat, and then our receivers are just like it's from where we were last year to now. It's a whole different. It's like night and day. You could it's insane.
So, I mean, as you heard from Ashton Bethel-Roman, he's just excited about this offense. He's believing in his ability to get open and take the top off of the defense and really allow Marcel Reed to have options and weapons at his disposal. And he's made touchdowns in the scrimmage and whatnot. So he's been popping off. Ashton Bethel-Roman, ABR. So here's a quote from Klein when he was talking at media, and to see, just to kind of get a feel for how he feels about Ashton Bethel-Roman. And Ashton Bethel-Roman continues to use his long speed and his ability to run routes. I was really excited to see a lot of different guys step up and make plays. So he's just one more tool. He's got that really, really fast speed, and I'm really excited to hear or see what he's going to do this fall. All right, now let's get into the tight ends. I think Theo Melanostrom, he's kind of your prototypical NFL type tight end, and he's due for a breakout season. He runs those smooth routes. He catches the ball well, and he breaks, his routes, catches the ball, and smoothly transitions back into trying to get some extra yards. And so I really think this is where Theo can, this fall, this is where Theo can break out and kind of show his NFL type capabilities and stuff like that. So be looking for Theo this fall. The player that has probably gained some of the most buzz coming out of fall camp is Nate Brokacher. He's from a graduate transfer from Nebraska. He's appeared in 29 games. He's made 17 starts. He's registered 19 catches for 219 yards and 1 score. He's just a really physical tight end. And in this fall camp, he's really kind of become the full tight end package. He's able to block. He's able to catch passes. And I really look for Nate to be one of those targets for Marcel Reed this fall and explode onto the scene. He's really physical. He had the chip on his shoulder to prove that he can do it because, this is his money year. He blocks his butt off. He can catch the passes to keep the defense honest. I really look forward to seeing what he has. And here's a quote from Tony Catalina of the Houston Chronicles. He said that Nate Brokacher continues to look like the most complete tight end on the team, both as a run blocker and as a reliable pass-catching option. The connection between Marcel Reed and Brokacher is evident, and the two have been seen and heard laughing during practice, creating handshakes, and encouraging the other throughout practices. So, we were struggling last year in tight end, so hearing this is music to my ears. I love it that Nate is starting to get involved and that he's, coming in and making an impact like we're hoping from these transfer tight ends. Another transfer tight end, speaking of that, is Amari Niblack. Amari Niblack is a transfer from Texas where he really didn't get much action last year because he was behind a NFL tight end. But at Alabama, he did have some yards and catches and touchdowns. So he's looking to get back to his Alabama type of ways. He's really a big body. He's a threat to catch the ball. He's kind of a good wide receiver tight end combo. And he kind of reminds me of a Jay Sternberger, consensus All-American type player. So I really look for Amari Niblack to have some great plays this fall. And it's just so great to have a tight end room full of talent and catchers and blockers and all that kind of stuff. That's what you need to make this Colin Klein offense go. All right, so now let's not forget about Micah Riley. He was a transfer from Auburn, and he is just known for being a nasty blocker. He blocks his tail off during games, and because people are going to underrate him, especially when there's wide receivers getting open. The defensive game, the running back game is coming down hard at people. Michael Riley is going to be one of those that's going to block, and then he's going to slip out and catch, especially like in the red zone and stuff like that. He's going to catch those passes and catch that defense on its heels and unaware. So I'm looking for Michael Riley to also have an impact this fall. All right. So we've talked about tight ends. Let's move into quarterbacks. Marcel Reed, he's number one, no QB battle, which is rare in College Station. And he's the number one guy. He's shown a lot of improvement this fall. He's reading and reacting quicker. He's progressing through his reads. He's just kind of what you want in a quarterback, because he can throw the ball. He's got a great arm. But if the play breaks down, or if he really needs to make a good run play to make that first down to keep the drive going and not stall, he can use his legs. So that's what Marcel Reed is going to be, doing and perfecting his craft. And he's going to need every single rep before the Notre Dame game to just get, in perfect shape and get this offense flowing, get the wide receivers and running back and offensive line and tight end and get everybody in sync. And so that's what I expect out of Marcel Reed. He's put in the work this fall. He's learned Colin Klein's scheme, and he's just going to come. And what I'm hearing out of fall camp is he's just noticeably improved as a passer. And here's a quote from Billy Lucci of TexAgs. In fact, Reed may have had his best week of work in maroon and white last week, including a solid scrimmage featuring some beautiful deep balls, and Wednesday night showing in an intensely competitive team setting that had teammates and insiders buzzing. So Marcel Reed's getting attention, and he's showing what he can do, and so I'm really looking forward to that. But who's going to be the guy that backs up Marcel Reed? It's either going to be Jacob Zeno or Miles O'Neill. Pick which one you want. I really think it's going to be Miles O'Neill. He was a freshman last year. He's a sophomore now. He's been in the system a little bit longer. But Jacob Zeno, don't count him out. He's going to be one of those guys that is going to be vying for time because of all the experience he has, both at Baylor and UAB. Jacob Zeno has lots of experience. He's good at the mid-range pass. He's been showing that this fall in camp. So, but I think Miles O'Neill has that higher ceiling, and he could take us farther than I think Jacob Zeno could. If it's like a season-ending injury for Marcel, God forbid, we're not going to allow that to happen. But if that happens, I think you would probably see Miles O'Neill step in. If it's just like some cleanup work, or we needed a quick, for some reason Jacob Zeno needs to hop in there, I think that's kind of where we would see him, because he's not going to be flustered by the moment if he gets thrown into the game. All right. So we've talked about QB room. The people who protect the quarterback, the offensive line. We have some senior-laden offensive linemen, and this is one of those things we just haven't had in a while. It's been since 2020 when A&M went 9-1 with Kellen Mond at the helm. All those senior offensive linemen help us win a lot of those games, help us dominate the run game. And so that's what we can expect out of this group. We have Martin Abu. He is one of those guys that he's coming back from a season-ending injury last year. He was center in the Notre Dame game before he got hurt, and then we didn't get to hear from him again. But in fall camp, he's really pushing to get some starting time. We'll see where he ends up, at left guard or center or something like that. But we just have lots of talent, and Martin Abu is going to be there, ready to go. Trey Zune, he's probably our senior, our captain of the offensive line, along with Amarji Reed Adams. But Trey Zune has been at left tackle these last 2 years, And in fall camp, we've been hearing that he's been mixing in for playing time at center. So I guess in case there's injuries or something, I guess Trey Zune is going to be ready to go. He's competing with Mark Naboo and Demetrius Crownover for that center spot. We'll see. We'll see which one comes out. They're all competing, and we'll kind of have to figure out who's going to be the center this fall. But I expect Trey Zune to spend a lot of time at left tackle if Mark Naboo or Demetrius Crownover earn that center spot. We were just talking about Demetrius Crownover. He's a junior, and he started at right tackle in every game last season, and he helped pave the way for the Aggie rushing attack. So, he's a senior this year, so he's coming in. I think he's one of those that the NFL is looking at. He's got the body, he's got the shape, he's got the size, and he's going to be trying to slide in there at center. I expect him to make the start at center. That's kind of who I'm picking to be the center this fall, but we'll see. And we got other great options, and so he's probably going to be maybe in that guard position. I don't know. We'll have to see. That's kind of what I'm hearing out of fall camp. Reuben Fothery, he's one of those that has just had a long career at Texas A&M, and he's playing at left tackle through fall camp to kind of give Trey Zune some time to work at center. We'll see if Reuben Fothery can crack that starting rotation. If not, I expect him to be pushing for time to start. And let's say he doesn't make it, he's going to be just one of those players that he's played a little bit everywhere, and so he's going to know how to play these different positions if someone gets hurt. All right, this is probably one of the strongest players is Chase Busantis. I'm going to call him a muscle hamster. He's strong. He plays that left guard position. He played in 10 games last season, and he helped pave the way for the Aggie rushing. And we really missed him and noticed it when he got hurt towards the end of the season. He's a bulldozer, a run blocker, and he's a beast, and he's a future NFL talent. So Chase Busantis is just really, really strong, and I expect him to come in and have a great season with all that strength and power, leading the way for those that great room of running backs that we have. My favorite player on the offensive line, least but not last, Amaje Reed-Adams. He's a team captain. He's a pancake maker. He's a bulldozer at right guard. He came from Kansas last season, and he just had an immediate impact in the 2024 season, and I look for him to improve on that. That's what I'm hearing out of fall camp. He's kind of a team leader with the offensive line. He's a team leader as a whole. He's a team captain, and so his voice is what's being heard in that Aggie locker room. And he's such a well-worded guy, and he really can bond with all of his teammates. So I feel like he's going to be one of those crucial key players this fall to help the team go far. And I really look for him to make, he made an immediate impact last season. I expect him to take that and excel even farther this fall. All right, so here are my final thoughts on the offensive line. They are not only the SEC's best experience in depth, but they are plenty versatile, giving Adam Cushing lots to work with. So if someone gets hurt, or if we want to mix something up for a special play or something like that, Adam Cushing is going to have a lot of different options to go to. And that is one of the benefits of having a very experienced offensive line. You can kind of work to different people's strengths and take advantage of the defense because of that, especially during the run game. All right, this year the offensive line is going to be better because of health. They're going to be better because of experience. They're also going to be better because of depth. And so that's why I'm just so excited about this offensive line. I feel like they're going to be one of the best in the SEC. All right, so who does the offensive line block for? They block for the quarterback, but they also block for this three-headed monster at running back. We have Le'Veon Moss. He's been kind of a non-contact so far in this fall camp. This week, he's probably working into some more contact drills. Le'Veon Moss he's going to be that cornerstone running back. He's going to be leaned on in the most important moments this fall. And so we need to keep him healthy. We need to make sure that we're mixing in other running backs so that Le'Veon Moss can just dominate and take over the games when we need him to. We got Amari Daniels. Amari Daniels came in when both Reuben Owens was not available and Le'Veon Moss got hurt last fall. Amari Daniels came in and did just a stellar job at running back. And then back this fall is Reuben Owens. He's been limited in reps, so in fall camp, which is just due to the fact that he was injured last year and he's coming in and we're trying to ramp him up and we want to make sure that he's fresh and ready to go for this fall camp. We're going to need him to catch balls out of the backfield and use his speed to break that offense wide open. So because we have these three-headed monsters, we still have some other running backs that are going to have to play. We got the freshman, Jamarion Morrow. He has been flashing this fall, and people have been talking about how he's going to be pushing for snaps. He's just quick. Colin Klein said Jamarion Morrow had a really nice day, especially for the scrimmage, and he ran the ball extremely hard, and he was extremely physical. So it looks like he's turning heads. I think A&M did a really good job getting him late in the class last year. I'm looking for him to make an impact this fall. He's just too good to keep off the field. But we cannot forget about E.J. Smith. E.J. Smith has really taken advantage of the time that Le'Veon Moss has been in non-contact and Reuben Owens has been limited on reps. He has really looked good this fall. He has been making the most of his graduate fall camp, and he's really been a monster. And so I expect E.J. Smith to also get in there. There's going to be times when we're going to need him to come in and make a difference. He has improved from last season this fall and in the spring game, and he looked even more improved in the bowl game against USC. So, I look for E.J. Smith to be getting on the field even with all of this talent in the running back room. So that is just an excellent place to be with all that depth at running back. You just don't see that anymore, especially with the NIL and the transfer world. Running backs are looking for time to play, and so the Aggies have just, and Mike Elko and Trooper Taylor have just done a great job with this staple of running backs, and they're one of the deepest in the league. All right. Because the O-line and the running back, barring no injuries this fall, like I was saying, the top of the SEC is what I expect this season from this rushing attack. One of the areas that has been the most improved this fall camp, which has needed to come a long way, this unit is the secondary. The secondary room has come a long way, and we'll have to wait to see how good they actually are. We'll have to see, when they get into the meat of their schedule, are they going to be ready to lock down on those good wide receivers in the SEC? There's going to be lots of talent that they're going to have to play up against. And this is kind of where things were getting broken wide open last season, and we're going to need to see improvement here. If Texas A&M is going to take that next step, if this defense is going to improve, this secondary has to be better. So some of the players that I'm looking for this fall, Bryce Anderson, he was kind of injured last year. We're going to need him to be a better tackler. He's kind of bounced off of players in previous seasons, and this fall I'm kind of hearing he might be having that issue. We really need him to have a standout senior year. We don't need him to be struggling. We need Bryce Anderson to be a good safety, because safety might be one of our weaker areas, and we really just need Bryce Anderson to come out and ball like the senior and use all that experience. He can make those plays. I've seen him. He's been out there getting those interceptions, jarring that ball loose for a fumble. So that's what I expect out of Bryce Anderson. Des Ricks, we really need Des Ricks to step up on the opposite side of the field from Will Lee. We know Will Lee's got a lockdown corner, but Des Ricks has, that 5-star athleticism. In fall camp, it seems like he's been locked in, and he's showing improvement. So I'm really excited to hear that about Des Ricks. The reason why Des Ricks is so important at that cornerback position is because Tyreek Chappelle. If Tyreek Chappelle is freed up to play that nickel position where he can be a lethal weapon this fall, Tyreek Chappelle is just going to come in and, he's looking to make an impact. He's going to go for the ball. He's going to get those interceptions. He's going to come down to the line and make those tackles, get in the backfield, make those sacks. So Tyreek Chappelle is just kind of that triple threat. He can do it all. He's a hard hitter, makes those good tackles. So we're looking for him to make an impact this fall. But if there's injuries or whatnot, Tyreek Chappelle might have to move back to that cornerback position to make sure that we don't let those wide receivers in the SEC get wide open. And so Julian Humphrey, he's going to be expected to come in and play. He had a lot of experience. He started at Georgia last season before he lost his job and lost his starting role last season. But Julian Humphrey, he's one of those guys that we're expecting to have help take this secondary to the next level. He's going to be out there. He's going to be playing, and I really look for some great things for him, especially with the fact that he has all that experience and talent. It's such a good defensive place like Georgia, and has that experience with Kirby Smart. All right. We're going from one of the areas that we struggled the most to the linebacker room, which is last year was one of our stronger suits. And again, we've built depth, and the linebacker is looking like one of the strongest units here this fall. We got Terry and York. He's a junior coming into his third year starting, and York has just been nothing but steady and dependable. And then Scooby came in last year from Florida. He's a senior this year, so he's really looking to have a good year. Scooby Williams played injured last year, but he was still making plays. He was all over the field. Scooby Williams is one of those players that we're really going to be leaning on, and I think York and Scooby Williams have a really great relationship out there on the field at linebacker, and so they're just going to be one of those dynamic duos that we're really going to be seeing make just play after play, getting in that backfield, sacking the quarterback, pressuring the quarterback, stopping the run, doing all those things that we expect from a hard-nosed linebacking group. Lockhart, a sophomore, and Damian Smith, a junior, they're going to be getting into the mix at linebacker. They're going to be out there playing. They're going to be able to give York and Scooby some, plays off when they need to. And they're very talented. Lockhart has really turned head this fall in fall camp, and he looks like he's ready to play. And I'm excited to see, he was a freshman last year. He's a sophomore now, so he's been in the system for a year. He's got all that talent, and I'm really looking for Lockhart to make a difference. And we got Damian Sanford. He's a junior, and he's ready to come and make an impact and be a difference player at this linebacker position. This is probably the deepest we've been. Last couple of years, we've been one injury away from just having devastation in the linebacker room. But this year, we have some depth, and we have some players that can fill in, and I'm really excited about what we could see at our linebacking room. All right, so the guys who paved the way for the linebackers, the defensive tackles. Overall, the defensive line room has looked great this fall in fall camp. Where the most concern comes, I believe, is going to be how well can we stop the run, and that's why I'm talking about the defensive tackle position here. On the edges, I believe we're going to be getting to the quarterbacks more often. I think we're going to have more than 25 sacks that we had last season. I really think we're going to improve on the edges and rushing and doing well there. But when it comes to the run, I feel like this is where SEC teams are going to try to challenge Texas A&M. So we got Albert Regis. He's a senior. Shout out to the new baby and new dad. And he's been a stud. He was a stud last year, and Albert Regis believes in him. Albert Regis believes in himself, and so I really think he's going to have a standout year. He's going to prove himself for the NFL. This is his money year. This is where he's going to make his way up the draft boards. All right, and then we have DJ Hicks. He's a junior, and he's played 13 games last year. We really need him to grow up and fill in. He looks like he's in fall camp. I've been hearing he's really done a great job at camp, and it sounds like DJ Hicks is ready to make an impact this season, and we're going to need him to stop the run game of a lot of strong SEC running attacks. Tyler Oyedin, he's the transfer from Iowa State. He has lots of stats from Iowa State, and so as a defensive tackle, you typically don't have all those tackles and rushes and all that stuff, but he's filled up the stat sheet pretty well, and I feel like Iowa State is probably kicking themselves for not keeping him on the roster. He came to Texas A&M where he's going to prove himself in the SEC. I really think he's going to fill in nice and fill in well and really help A&M this fall, especially as a depth piece. When we really need to change out Albert Regis, DJ Hicks, they're going to be rotating in and out. And some freshmen that have made their mark this fall and have come in and impressed throughout fall camp is Landon Rinks and DJ Sanders. I look for them to come in and learn and work their way into the games, especially early on, so they can get some experience. All right, so this is my call to action. If you like these videos, if you like all this information that I'm telling you, like, subscribe. Come on, guys. If you could help me out and subscribe, that'd be really helpful. If you haven't watched my top most important players, there's a lot more information about the defensive ends. I would go ahead and watch that. That's one of those things that I think you'll enjoy. And then last week I put out a schedule prediction. I predicted every single game on A&M's schedule. I would go watch that one as well. That's a great watch. I think a lot of people have really liked it because the interactions have been great and people have responded to it. All right, well, guys, college football is almost here. College football actually starts this weekend, but A&M doesn't play for another 2 weeks. Weekends actually, and this week is, starting next week, we're getting into the start of preparing for an actual game. UTSA will be game week starting on this weekend and Monday, and so I'm really excited about that. You know what, guys? Y'all have a fantastic week. Gig 'em Aggies. I'm signing out.